Well, welcome to today's CutTime webinar, everybody. This is going to be a look at our new parent portal. We're thrilled that you could join us today. As we get started, I'll just give you a quick introduction of myself. My name is Scott McCormick. I serve as the Senior Manager of Educational and Business Development here at JW Pepper. I'm also the founder and president of the National Association of Music Parents, or AMP. And prior to that, for 25 plus years, I served as the president and CEO of Music for All and Bands of America. I've had a chance to interact with hundreds, if not thousands, of teachers and parent leaders around the country. To add to that side of things, I can relate to any parents that we have on board. Today, my wife and I had our daughter involved in music all the way through high school. My wife served as a booster officer, both as a vice president and president of a sizable organization with a sizable budget. So I feel like I've kind of approached this from all sides. So I hope I can make some good sense for you all today. Before we get too far into this, we got a lot to cover. I just want to let you all know, as we do with all of our webinars, we will be recording this. You will get an email here within probably the next 24 hours with a copy of this recording that you can review and share with others in your program. I want to encourage you to submit questions anytime throughout the presentation. One of my co-workers will be answering questions online as we go, but we'll also have a Q&A time, I hope, at the end to be able to address some of the larger questions that maybe were asked multiple times. So for those of you who have not been involved or this is your first time looking at CutTime, you ask, what is CutTime? We're basically an online management tool that allows you to manage all of your people. So whether that be your students or your parents, literally all of the people that are associated with your program. It also allows you to manage your events and everything from your calendar to volunteer functions. And it also allows you to manage all of your stuff. So that can be inventory, music library, attire, and uniforms. So you're right now looking at a dashboard of an administrator or a teacher's view. So I know there's probably a number of you out there that might be using something for a database, whether that's Google or something else. You may be using an email provider like a MailChimp or an iContact to deliver emails to your people. You might be using Remind or something similar for texting. I'm sure there's lots of people that use Excel spreadsheets or Google Sheets to manage everything from inventory and who knows what, as well as our parents probably. And some of you probably even have some kind of Dropbox or cloud storage. The reality is all of this that I just described and more can be accomplished from one cloud-based solution that we call CutTime. Today we're going to focus on the new parent portal, which has been a fair bit of time coming, but we are thrilled to be there. So we're going to do a deeper dive on that. If you're interested in an overview of what we do in CutTime, we do that each month on the first Tuesday of the month. So the next one will occur on Tuesday, November 6th at 6 p.m. We'll show you how you can register for that a little bit later, but we're going to go ahead and get started and dive into the parent portal. So one last slide before I jump over to the internet. We are cloud-based, so you're looking at a screenshot of my smart device. Anything that I'm showing you today via the computer, as long as you have connectivity and you have a smart device or a tablet, you can do all of the things that I'm doing today on those devices. As I switch over to the internet, I'm going to be jumping between three different browsers here because there's a lot to show you in the parent portal. I want to just take a moment to address, you're looking at a dashboard. We wanted to create a dashboard that was really geared at more parent-centric things. And we knew that from the beginning when we launched CutTime that there were things that we wanted to change about the views that a parent or a student or an admin has. So we're thrilled to launch the parent side of that. For those of you who are already customers, we recognize that up until now, you probably have not experienced the most ideal of situations. We appreciate your patience as we work through that, but I think you're going to find this is a major step forward to making your lives a great deal easier. So we're looking at my demo program called Everytown High School West, and I'm looking at the new parent portal. Across the top, you'll see the things that are applicable to most parents. So you can view your calendar function simply by clicking on the calendar. It'll take you directly to the calendar. Volunteer will take you directly to volunteer opportunities that are there. Financial, we'll go into this in a little bit deeper as we go down the page here. Assignments and files and docs. Those are the things that a parent are going to be most interested in getting to. But you'll see on your homepage, the things that you are able to see are a snapshot of the things that most parents are interested in. First thing on your upper left-hand corner is the news section. So this is a place to give parents and students information about upcoming events or things that we need to remind them about. It's also a place to maybe recap or showcase things that have happened in the past. Maybe it's a concert from the night before. You can actually load photographs and things of that in here as well. But here's a note about spring trip. First payment's due in November. If your child's going on the trip, they must have their first payment in. So that's a news feature. There's also a region choir audition deadline approaching. So those students that are interested in applying for region choir, so you give them more information as to how they can keep apprised of the things that you want them to see. So as I scroll down as a parent, I also then see a list of my child or children. So right now you're seeing Gabe, who is Dee's son, and she can see Gabe on here. If she wanted to go in and see the details of Gabe, she would hit the update button and it is going to open Gabe's account. And these are all of the things that Gabe would see as he's logging in. You can see assignments. So if you wanted to check in and see how your son or daughter is doing on assignments, you can review those assignments here. You can see any RSVPs, their financial obligations, basically a snapshot of everything that your child can see. You can see by clicking on that update button. We're going to go back and show you how to add a student in a little bit, but I'll continue down the screen. Financial obligations. So this is showing a snapshot of both Dee, myself, the parent, as well as Gabe, my son, and any amounts that are due, anything that's been paid, any balances owed. So again, this is a top level snapshot. If I want to see the details, I click full details, and then it's going to bring me a stacked version of any financial obligations owed, any payments made by Dee, and likewise any obligations owed by Gabe, and any payments made. So again, you can see those details very clearly. If I wanted to make a payment, I would be able to do that. We are linked to AffiniPay. If you have PayPal ProFlow, we can link to that. We're working on some other things like Authorize.net and some other providers where you'll be able to link across and make payments online. But that's the view of financial obligations. If you jump over to the right-hand side column, you'll see volunteer opportunities. What this is showing is a list of upcoming events over the course of the next 30 days that have needs or requirements for volunteers. So I can see there's a marching band competition up that we need volunteers for. There's region choir auditions that we need volunteers for. I'm going to click open the details button, and it's going to deliver me as the parent to all of those available opportunities that are out there that I can volunteer for. If I want to step forward and say I'm interested, I simply click this button. I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to actually click this button here. Your name will be submitted, interested, available for the volunteer opportunity. So I'm going to submit. I'm now awaiting confirmation. I'm going to show you in a minute what that looks like on the admin side, who has the ability to approve those items. But that's what the volunteer piece looks like. The next bullet down are RSVPs. So these are events that my student has been invited to. So they've been invited to a fundraising night. Here's my student. Right now they haven't responded. You can either respond for them, or you can remind them to respond. They will have this will attend, will not attend. And then the final piece down here are required forms. These are required forms that my student owes. So there's a permission slip for New York trip. There's a release form that has already been sent. So you can see that that's been received. I can view that if I want to. But I'm going to go ahead and say we have this permission slip, and I, as the parent, want to upload that. It's going to pop open this upload required form. I have the ability then from my computer to browse for that form that I would have scanned in or taken a picture of and saved as a file. I would load that, and once it's showing there, I would start the upload. And I will also show you where that goes on the admin side, on the teacher side here in just a minute. Let's jump back and actually go through the process of adding a student. So we're back here on the parent portal. So let's just say we have another child. In this case, we're going to say we have a son, Bill, who's decided to join the group that we're a part of. So I'm going to add student member. It's going to take me to this portal. And I have some pre-populated fields here. I'm going to put Bill Kangas in. I'm going to put Bill's test email in. I'm going to encourage you all the time to put as much detail as you can in here when you're signing up, whether that's for yourself or your students. The more information that's in here, the greater the possibilities are for making sure people can see what they need to see. I'm probably going to stop here. You want to put in a mobile number for sure, select a provider. I'm going through this rather quick, but I hit save. And now what's going to show up is, it happens to be that there's a Bill Kangas that is already listed in Everytown High School music program. So I can then select that existing student, Bill, and establish that relationship. So I'm going to go ahead and say, oh yeah, that's Bill Kangas. He's 11th grade. That's my son. I'm going to establish a relationship. And the student has now been added. So you can see Bill is now in my list of children. You'll also see this sign that says awaiting confirmation. So I'm going to click over to, hang with me a second. Yep, sorry, trying to juggle between these three portals here. I'm going to actually click over to Bill. And I have now paused my screen. I didn't mean to do that. All right, sorry about that. I'm now in Bill Kangas, who is the student. So you can see what the student would see, and I need to refresh that screen because I have just added that. So here, Bill now sees this first thing on his page is relationships. A parent-guardian relationship awaits your approval. The approval relationship will have access to your profile information. All relationship requests will be reviewed by a program administrator. So I'm the student, and I see that my mom has requested to be a parent on my account, and I'm going to accept that. And what that is going to do is, if I go back to my parent account quickly here, I'm going to refresh one more time, and now you'll see Bill is updated. He's no longer awaiting confirmation. So that is one of the ways that is able to be approved. We've built in a multi-level approval process. So a relationship can either be approved or rejected by an admin or by the student themselves. So I'm going to show you in a second from a teacher's perspective what that might look like. ultimately, the administrator, the director or an administrator, whether that's maybe a parent officer in a booster organization or something like that, would have the ability to override things. And the reason that we've built that override in, is that it addresses some kind of checks and balances that are needed. There are situations in today's world where there's sensitive information. There might be a situation that there's a separation and there are multiple parents and somebody has rights and other parents don't have rights. So there needs to be the ability for the admin to go in and approve those things. So I'm going to jump over and just show you the director side of things or admin side of things. Oop, I am pulling from the wrong button all the time here. All right, let me go into the dashboard. So here's myself. I'm the admin of this program. You can see down here that earlier when that parent D requested to be a volunteer, it's showing up on my dashboard as chaperone. D wants to chaperone. I have the ability to approve or decline D. Again, the reason being we've built this approval and decline in for volunteers and members is you may get a parent who might not have a background check, and for a chaperone you need those things. So I'm not going to approve this person if they don't, or it might not be the right person for the right job. So there's ability for the administrator or teacher to make those calls of approve and decline for those items. So if I'm a teacher, we've already, the student has already approved the parent relationship. But if I go under Tools and I go over to this Relationship Management tab over on the reports on the left-hand side, I'm going to open that. It is going to open a look at all of the students. So I have an alphabetical list of all of the students in my program. I have the ability to sort that by group or ensemble. So if I wanted to see students just in my concert band or in my men's choir or concert choir, I'd have the ability to narrow that. Or if I wanted to see students whose last name begin with a letter, I can do that as well. I'm going to just scroll down to the Bill Kangas. So here's Bill. Bill actually has 3 parents in the system, John and Sarah Abbott, and then D, who just was created. So you'll see over here, unlink relationship. So this has been approved by the student, but me as the administrator happens to know there might be a problem with one of these parents and rights. So I can at any time unlink those relationships by clicking on this button. Very simple to do. I will also show you while we are here the ability I can add a relationship. So as an admin, I can just click Steve Bryant, add a relationship. It's going to open Steve's account. I can add a relationship for Steve. I'm going to just put in John Bryant as a parent, and I want to enter a birth date for John, the parents, certainly not born in 2018. We're going to make them born in 1978. We're going to put an email in. I'm going to just put my own email in, select a relationship. So I am a parent guardian of Steve, and I'm going to hit save. So that was a simple creation. That relationship has now been created. If I go back into Steve under those relationship, there's John the parent. It's automatically approved because I as an admin created that. I can always unlink that relationship at any time. So again, multiple ways to do that. Each time one of these relationships is created, it's going to generate emails. Those emails are going to be sent to the requester. So whether they are approved or declined, an email is going to go out at the time of creation and let them know. And also another email will go out when they are approved. I just want to address to those of you who are on this call or watching this webinar that might be an existing user of CutTime, what the process will be. We actually went live with the parent portal today. So those of you who are already in the system and might be parents, you will be seeing what I just showed you in terms of what that parent portal looks like. I am going to jump back into my parent portal again. So I want to also, I didn't do this, but here's D. This is the parent portal of all of the things that they would need to see. But if I was D and wanted to see my profile, I would go up under my name, go to profile, and here are all the pertinent things related to me as the parent. I have the ability to put t-shirt size in. I can change my password. I can add notes. So again, the ability to jump between the actual profile and the parent portal. So again, for those of you who are existing users or subscribers, you may have had parents, and I know that there are many groups out there that have had parents that have signed up and identified themselves as a parent, which has really made them a member of an organization. It has not created that parent-guardian relationship. So you may have people in your system that need to have those linkages created. As an admin, I'm going to recommend highly that you go into what we were just looking at. So we're going to go into under Tools, under Relationship Management, and I'm going to look at all of those people. I should see for each of my students in my program at least one parent guardian that's connected to those students. So there's a couple ways you can do that. You can go in and manage and create those relationships yourself. You can assign another admin to do that. You can inform your students via email through the system, or by just telling them in class or when you have the group together that they need to go create a parent relationship. So I'm going to open Mike here and just show you what I mean by that. So Mike would scroll down to the bottom of his account as a student, and there is a tab called Relationships, and they're going to add a relationship. So they're going to go through that same process I just showed. The screen is the same as what I did as an admin. First name, last name, date of birth, email. This person is a parent of Mike. I'm going to hit save. It's going to generate those emails that go out. It's also going to generate an approval from Mike to approve that, or an admin to go in and approve that as well. So hopefully this will make those of you who are already existing users' lives a bit easier. I know there will probably be some transition that you'll have to go through, but I think you're going to find that once that's done, the process is going to be a great deal easier. Tomorrow, a CutTime Notes email newsletter is being sent out. It will actually have instructions for all of the programs that are either subscribers or in a trial at present as to how to navigate this. It'll also create a link that you could listen to this webinar again if you wanted to see it in action. And we will also have a blog post that newsletter article will link to. So again, if you're not aware, we have created cuttime.blog, which is a repository for all things CutTime. We're going to have updates in there, news stories. That would be a great place for you folks to be able to get updated information and the latest and greatest information about the tool. But tomorrow, all of those emails will be sent out, as well as the CutTime blog being updated. You will also have this help screen that'll take us, I'm going to just show you, at any time that you're in CutTime, it's going to take you to our portal, that is our help portal, and there are help tutorials and information on every module. There will be documentation as to how to do this in here as well. All of that will be live here very shortly. So that was a quick overview. We do have a few minutes. I'm going to jump back over to my PowerPoint, and we'll get to the place where we can take some questions. So before I get to that questions, if you've not already started a free trial, if you visit cuttime.net and press this orange button, start a free trial, there is a 30-day no obligation free trial available to anybody. We will help you get data in if you would like to use it as it is yours. And you can actually test drive it for 30 days before you would purchase. The next slide is going to talk about pricing very quickly. Pricing is in 3 tiers. The basic $99 price is literally for those programs that might have one ensemble. So we're finding community groups or church groups that have a band, orchestra, or choir are utilizing this. It might be a small rural program that has one ensemble. It would be appropriate for that. But most schools are in the standard, or groups are in the standard $299 per year. You can have multiple ensembles, multiple directors or colleagues who share one account. And then this final bucket over here, $199, is really when we start to get into district level pricing. So more than one school in a district purchases a subscription. So you might have a band and an orchestra in a high school, or you might have a band in a high school and a band and orchestra, a choir in the middle school. As long as they're in the same district, once more than one is purchased, both prices drop to $199 each. And then when you get above 5, that price continues to come down. So one of our CutTime consultants would be happy to quote prices if you're a larger group than that. And now I will advance and we will get to questions, which I have need to open my chat box because I've been having questions sent my way. And I will try to get to as many of them as I possibly can here. All right. What is the wording of the email that's sent out to parents if they are declined to volunteer? Is it the same each time they are declined, or is it based on a certain volunteer opportunity? Do admins have the ability to change the wording? At this point, I'll start with the last part of that. Admins do not have the ability to change the wording. That is something that we're looking at down the road in terms of how we might be able to customize those things. It is a kind of a soft, generic email that is sent out so that we are not going to hopefully turn a volunteer away from ever wanting to volunteer again. I don't have it in front of me to read, but it is the same email that has gone out, that goes out when that decline happens. Next question: how do these relationships transfer over from our current accounts if we have not linked all of our parents yet? I think I addressed that piece. So if you're a current user and your relationships are not there, I showed you how to create those relationships. If the parent-guardian relationship has already been created prior to our switchover today, those should show up in the portal correctly. But again, if you need help with how to get that all of the existing people in the right place, you can feel free to give us a call, and on your screen is the 800 number or info@cuttime.net. Our team would be happy to walk you through the details of that if it wasn't clear in the presentation. Next question is, I have parents with students in the middle school and the high school. Can they see both of their students on the same login? It's a great question, and like what we've done here today with this parent portal, one of the next major projects that we're going to do is actually creating a new student dashboard or portal. Once that piece is created, the ability for a parent to see students in multiple organizations will be there, but we have to do some work first on the student side. So today the answer is no. You would have to log in into both, but eventually that will be solved for all of you. And then I think I've got time for one more question here. With this already being live, the email that you referred to going out, will that go out? Will that out to all of the students and parents? It actually will go out to all of the administrators on the program. It does not go out to every member. What you could do is, if you're an admin, you could take that, copy it, and paste it or forward that to all of your members if you like. But it should be pretty self-explanatory to those parents, and you could also refer them to a recording if they wanted to see how all of these pieces work. So that half hour kind of went by very quickly. Again, if you would like more information on this or need help in an existing account, we would love to chat with you. You can schedule some time for a one-on-one where we can schedule even a demo online to go through that with you. Again, drop us an email at info@cuttime.net or give us a call at 800-310-0087. Sorry, 0087. Also, if you visit cuttime.net, you will see a little bot pop up. If you want to schedule some time for one of our consultants to call you, you can actually grab a time and schedule the call there at your convenience. So lastly, I just want to, from all of us at CutTime on the CutTime team, thank you for joining us tonight. We're thrilled that you are either in or looking at joining us on CutTime, and we hope to see you down the road. So until next time, have a great day. And we're out. What did I like?